Have you given any thought into what you'll leave behind for the new year and what you'll be taking with you? For sure, I'll be taking my Lumi deodorant. I love Lumi. It's my favorite whole body deodorant, and it's safe to use anywhere on the body. Pits, underarms, thigh folds, belly buttons, and more. Lumi was created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. She created a product that is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Now, I love my Lumi products. It has scents that I love, like clean tangerine, lavender sage, or toasted coconut. Are you ready to try Lumi? Get started today with Lumi's starter pack, which is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code RATCHET15 for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code RATCHET15 at LumiDeodorant.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi. The conversations we have on this show really get me thinking. And when I want to dive deeper or level up, I want to hear from the best. Luckily, I can do just that with Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. Use improv to overcome your fears with Amy Poehler, or turn your passion into achievements with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their life. I watched the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix, and I just wanted more and more Martha Stewart. Masterclass had me covered. Martha's Masterclass will teach you how to think outside the box and level up. I loved it. Masterclass is offering an exclusive offer for Ratchet and Respectable listeners at masterclass.com/ratchet. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet. The conversations we have on this show really get me thinking. And when I want to dive deeper or level up, I want to hear from the best. Luckily, I can do just that with Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. Use improv to overcome your fears with Amy Poehler, or turn your passion into achievements with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their life. I watched the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix, and I just wanted more and more Martha Stewart. Masterclass had me covered. Martha's Masterclass will teach you how to think outside the box and level up. I loved it. Masterclass is offering an exclusive offer for Ratchet and Respectable listeners at masterclass.com/ratchet. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those who don't identify as either, fuckery is afoot. You are listening to Ratchet and Respectable. There's breaking news on my phone from the New York Post. It is about our beloved, he is well, living, he's fine, Method Man. I'm reading the headline that the Wu-Tang rapper Method Man allegedly involved in assault at Staten Island Crunch Fitness. Before I tell the story, I would like us all listening to behave in ways that when people hear stories about nefarious behavior attached to our name, the first thing you think is not, here this nigga go again. It's, oh no, something must have been wrong. We've been knowing Method Man. Somebody posted pictures of him the other day. It was like his baby photos, like a photo from high school, a photo from like probably his late 20s, and then a photo from last week. And I was like, you know what? I've been loving this man. I've been loving you. I've been loving this man since I was like 14 years old. The majority of my life, 2/3 of my life. According to the article, Clifford Smith, age 53 human years, allegedly punched a man in the face 7 times with a closed fist. Now, I read that and I said, once again, because we know Method Man's character, we've been knowing him a really long time. I was like, I've never heard of this kind of behavior from Method Man before. Even the Wu-Tang years where he was looking wild. The Mary J. Blige video when he was running around with like half his cornrows undone, just hair standing up on his head, and then the blanked out eyeball. Even then, we didn't hear about shenanigans from Method Man, not violent shenanigans. Even when he was running around with Redman and they was high out their goddamn minds. I mean, they were smoking weed. People don't really get violent on weed. They be very relaxed, maybe paranoid. But I was like, we've never heard any behavior like this, not that I can recall, about Method Man. The man who Meth allegedly punched in the face, it says the alleged victim, 28 years old. I was like, a 28-year-old? The 28-year-old quote and unquote victim, alleged victim, the New York Post is reporting that this man used to date Meth's daughter more than a decade ago. And I was like, oh, I see what happened here. Okay. I mean, other than the man having no hands, I'm like, sir, I've never been boxing. I only do kickboxing. But the first thing they tell you is guard your face. That man ain't have no hands. He ain't never slap box, nothing. Apparently not, because he got punched in the face 7 times. Mans ain't got no survival instinct. He can't duck. He can't run. Apparently not. So the 28-year-old who used to date his daughter, this sounds to me, this is all speculation, but speculation based on blackness. It seems to me, just off these limited details, that this was a man who dated Meth's daughter and he ain't do right by the daughter. Something happened with the daughter. And Meth told the man at some point about a decade ago, if I see you, it's on sight. It sounds like a decade later, Meth ran into this man at his gym. He be in there faithfully. There's videos all over TikTok about folks running into Method Man at their gym. He works out. You can look at him. Amen. And see that he works out on a consistent and regular basis and has a healthy diet. Cardio, weights, likely a spiritual practice. Your skin can't be that clear if there's no higher power involved. Water. I said this on a previous episode. Some veganism. Him and Rakim, maybe not indulging in meat and dairy a few days out the week. Lots of vegetables in his diet. Protein in his diet. You can look at him and see his healthy physique and wonderful glow. It's a lovely looking man. God bless his barber. God bless his parents for their lovely DNA. God bless his wife. God bless Mrs. Meth, who has not punched me or, to my knowledge, anybody else in the face. Meth, however, 7 times to one face. Allegedly. According to the New York Post, he was not arrested. A complaint report was filed with the NYPD. And the man who got punched in the face, he reported pain in his face. Well, you got punched 7 times. And feeling dizzy. Well, again, you got punched 7 times. But the man refused medical attention at the scene. I'm going to go ahead and guess there'll be a civil lawsuit coming any day now. Maybe press charges. What he's alleging is assault. I wonder if the complaint was by the man who got punched in the face or was by somebody who was present, Me just being me, I can't see nobody calling the police on Method Man. I wouldn't call the police on Method Man. If he was punching a child, if he was punching a woman, perhaps. But I was like, a grown ass man in his 50s fighting a young ass man in his 20s. Meth got uncle strength, grown ass man strength. METHOD, man. That 28-year-old man ain't have no agility, no adrenaline, no quick reflexes. Cause he clearly ain't duck. How you get punched 7 times? I'm confused. I need to hear Meth's side of the story. Because I feel like it's something like, I did it and I do it again. I told that nigga on site and I meant it. That's not the legal thing to say. Let him go ahead and get an attorney. And let the attorney, this is important, let the attorney and the publicist work in conjunction with one another to address the issue if it must be addressed to the public. If the man don't try to press charges, ain't nothing to say. It's just some rumors and some allegations about some shit that happened at a gym in Staten Island. Is there video? But if it ain't no video, did it happen? You know I love Method Man. You can tell me right now, Method Man absolutely punched that man in the face 7 times like they alleged he did. All I care about is his fist okay? Did his wife, what is Method Man's wife? We address Morris Chestnut's wife respectfully. We should do the same for Method Man's wife. What's her name? Tamika, Miss Tamika. She looked like she could fight. Put some respect on her name so she don't come looking for me. They've been together over 30 years. She's taking good care of him. What we say about Cheryl Lee Ralph the other day, we said the husband is doing something right because Cheryl looks amazing. That woman is always glowing. Something's going right in her life. Miss Tamika takes good care of our meth. Like Miss Sabby takes good care of our Idris. That's all we can ask. Sabby shares with us, though. She calls him our husband. Miss Tamika ain't with that shit. That's all right. But I hope Method Man's fist is okay. I hope Miss Tamika got him some ice and some peas. I hope his mental health is okay. That's a lot for him to be that angry, to punch somebody in the face 7 times. I hope that, he gets a chance to speak with his therapist, counselor, mental health professional, and he is brought back to an appropriate level of calm. Shorty, I'm there for you anytime you need me. You're all I need to get by. This sounds to me like a case of fuck around and find out. I posted about it on my Facebook page. Folks said 7 is the number of completion. So there's that. This should be a grand opening, grand closing. Young man doesn't need to do anything else. Meth doesn't need to do anything else. 7 punches to the face sends a message. Meth don't need to do no more. The young man don't need to do no more. Everyone can move on. Another woman, see, these my people. This is my private Facebook page. This woman said, this sounds like an on-site situation. He was defending his daughter. That's family business, and I mind mines. We have another commenter that says, I'm putting money on he said something slick about his daughter and found out what bring the pain was really about. I came to bring the pain. She also added, I will show up at the courthouse to show my support if necessary. I will show up at the courthouse even if it is not necessary. He don't need my money, but I'm happy to put 5 on it for his legal fees. I put 5 Virgils on it for Method Man. METHOD, man. Math. I hope his hand is okay. I'm going to send up some thoughts and prayers for Method Man as he goes through this difficult season. I hope that his hand is okay. I hope that his heart is okay. I hope that his head is okay. We're going to send prayers, collective prayers from all of us to Clifford Smith. Please be well, Clifford. We are praying for you in this difficult time. Wait, folks are talking about this on social media. Apparently, Method Man works out at 4 a.m. He's done multiple interviews about his beautiful physique. He's said multiple times he works out at 4 a.m. He punched somebody in the face 7 times at 4 a.m. in the goddamn morning. And he a grown-ass man. So, it wasn't like he was out all night and went to the gym. He went to bed at decent hours, got rested, got up, went to the gym, did a workout, and then punched somebody in the face 7 times. You know how angry you got to be after a sleeping, well-rested 4 a.m. and a gym workout at 4 a.m. You were so mad at somebody after your rest, while in your discipline, in your focus, to punch somebody in the face 7 times in the middle of the night. I wonder what that man did to the daughter. He did something. This might be the sexiest shit I've ever read. A father defending his daughter, stayed mad for a decade, promised the man on site and did. In all seriousness, I hope Meth is okay. I hope his hand is okay. I hope his heart is okay. He a man of a certain age. He's a healthy man, but still a man of a certain age. You know, black folk pressure. Getting that level of riled up, that level of angry to punch somebody 7 times. Why ain't the man duck, though? None of your self-preservation kicked in? None of it? Do you have any? I hope Method Man's fine. We're going to move on to the next topic because I can kiki like this all day. I came to bring the pain hardcore to the brain. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's a part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. You listen to this podcast, so you know I am a huge fan of therapy. I think everyone should have some, even the people that don't think they need it, especially you. You need it the most. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. And you can easily switch therapists anytime at no cost. I love how easy BetterHelp makes it to find therapy everywhere you are. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/ratchet today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ratchet. I have a new favorite Honey Love bra. It's the Cross Flex bra. It's all purpose. You can wear it during your workday and at your workout. Honey Love is an independent female-founded brand. All Honey Love products are intelligently designed by women who actually wear their products, including the founder, Betsy, who is highly involved in the development of each product. The ladies over at Honey Love make sure that Honey Love bras are supportive and wire-free, thanks to bonding technology that lifts without underwire. You deserve a bra that's lightweight and comfortable without sacrificing support. I believe that a great bra is the foundation for any great outfit. Start every outfit with Honey Love and elevate your personal style. Treat yourself to the best bras and shapewear on the market. Save 20% off at honeylove.com/ratchet. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. honeylove.com/ratchet to find your perfect fit. After you purchase, they will ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Elevate your comfort, elevate your style with Honey Love. Speaking of people who don't give a fuck, Vice President Kamala Harris says that there will be no pre-inaugural tour of her residence for the incoming Vance family. The future Vice Führer, him, no tour of his new home. This is according to CNN, who noted that he has not received an invitation to the residence from its current occupant. CNN also notes that this, quote, nicety has been the norm. They also note that Kamala Harris never went to the Naval Observatory, that's the home, prior to assuming her role as VP in the aftermath of Donald Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election. That's CNN's nice way of talking about the attempted coup on the American government that we refer to in shorthand as January 6th. CNN also notes that the not-so-expected non-invite comes after a particularly brutal campaign which featured Vance referring to Harris as, quote, trash during a November rally. She was also repeatedly attacked by Vance and Trump about her racial identity. Her Asian, Southeast Asian racial identity, which I also believe is the ethnicity of Vance's wife. No? And also at least half of each child. Ooh, we in for a shit show. Also, I read today that the former presidents, Obama, Clinton, and Bush, have all declined to attend a brunch ceremony after the inauguration. Let me look that up as well. Yeah, Trump is having an inaugural brunch. Reading this on NBC News, it says the three former presidents will attend As of today, I'm recording this on Thursday evening at 7:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They will attend the swearing-in ceremony, i.e. inauguration, earlier that day. But no to the brunch. They were invited. They declined to attend, according to a source familiar with the matter. And again, I'm reading this on NBC. Former Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton also received an invitation, and she also will not attend. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. I wish they would all bow out of the actual inauguration ceremony. Take a strong stand. Send a message. We do not support this fool. Y'all sitting up there acting like this is normal with your presence is endorsing this bullshit. People are like, it's protocol. It is. It is. It was protocol when Trump didn't show up to Biden's inauguration. The inauguration is still going to happen. It's still going to be the quote and unquote peaceful transfer of power. Like, I told you, my friends across the pond, both in Europe and in Africa, really be checking in on me. Like, yo, are you okay? Because like we watch the news, like it doesn't look okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. I am deeply concerned that the way I speak free on this podcast about politics, because of, like the First Amendment of the Constitution, the right to free speech, the right of freedom of the press, I'm genuinely concerned that after January 20th or shortly thereafter, I won't be able to speak free to y'all anymore. I may really just have to cover pop culture and not politics. Even if I go back outside the country to gallivant, my podcast company is here. Like the advertisers, I don't know if they stick around after January 20th if I'm still discussing politics. Like that's a deep concern right now. Speaking of press, I don't know if we call it freedom right now. The Washington Post. Remember before the election, the Washington Post, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, announced that they would not be endorsing a presidential candidate. The Post is well known as a pretty liberal paper. The expectation was that they would endorse Kamala Harris. And then they opted at the last minute not to do endorsements. And they put a whole big editorial out about how the Post didn't want to get involved in endorsements. They just wanted to report the news. It wasn't their job, their role to endorse, even though they'd been doing so for decades. The Post is back to endorsements. They decided to endorse Bondi. So Pam Bondi, is that her name? She's a former Florida Attorney General, and she's Trump's nominee for U.S. Attorney General. I don't know much about her. She looks the Trump type. She's a cute white lady, long blonde hair. She's giving Ivanka-esque. I'm just going to go ahead and assume because she supports Trump that she's also a bigot. I'm scrolling down in this article. It's a picture of Bondi and Trump, and it says she's long been a Trump ally and has been on his defense team several times over the years. She went to Stetson University. What is that? They be talking about black people in this DEI shit. I'm like, where's Stetson University? Stetson University College of Law. I've never heard of Stetson. I'm not saying it's a bad school. I'm saying I ain't never heard of Stetson. She's 59. She don't look like white people 59. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just, melanin helps people age. She doesn't have melanin, but she's a good looking 59. This has nothing to do with whether she's Attorney General. I'm just going to assume because Trump nominated her that she's not qualified. Did you see the hearing for, was it Pete Hegseth? Is that his name? Hegseth, excuse me. You know Pete. We talked about him. Pete was the one, his mama wrote him an email telling him he wasn't shit. And then somehow the email got released. And I was like, who released it? Your wife or your mama? One of them put it out. And then his mom did a whole apology tour and was like, I didn't mean it. I was in my feelings and I just said it. But my son is a good man. I saw some clips of him being questioned. They beat on his ass like a rented mule. He's up for Secretary of Defense. He would be in charge of the 3 million people that make up the American Armed Forces. He refused to answer like any basic questions because they were like, hey, like if you were asked to do something unconstitutional, like would you do it? He was like, Donald Trump hasn't asked me to do anything unconstitutional. And they're like, but if you were asked, like what would you say? And he was like, Donald Trump wouldn't ask me. And then they were like, okay, what if Joe Biden asked you? Like what if anybody in charge asked you, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, but nobody asked me. Sir, this is a goddamn hypothetical. Answer the question. Refused. I can't remember the woman who was interviewing him, and she was like, yeah, like we see, like you've appropriately, she didn't say kiss the ring, genuflected. She was like, yes, you've appropriately genuflected. Like, can you actually answer the question? This other man asked him, because he got accused of sexual assault. It didn't go anywhere. It wasn't actual charges, but a woman accused him of sexual assault. He settled with her. because he was on TV at the time. He didn't want it to become a thing. That's literally his excuse. The woman says she was sexually assaulted. He says, no, it was a consensual sexual act. So I just, paid the woman so it would go away. But, it absolutely was not sexual assault. But he absolutely admits it was consensual sex. So the congressman interviewing him was like, hey. So you were married and you cheated on your wife with a woman that you got pregnant and had a 2-month-old daughter. And then you went to this conference. And so then you cheated on your wife and your mistress with this new woman. And he was like, there were no charges brought. And he was like, I'm not asking if there were charges brought. I'm asking, did you cheat on your wife and mistress with this new woman when you went to the conference? And he was like, there were no charges. And he was like, again, I'm not asking you about charges. You yourself, sir, said that you did not sexually assault this woman. He said, that's not what I'm asking you. But you did say that you had consensual sex with this woman. He was like, I just want to be clear on the timeline that you were married at the time, that you had a mistress in which you had a 2-month-old child with, and then you also had sex with this woman while married, while with the newborn by your mistress. So I'm trying to keep up with the story. He said that beautiful girl, he named the child carries his last name. He said, she is a beautiful blessing. She's 7 years old. I love my daughter. He said, I ain't ask all that. Sir ain't deny it. He just refused to answer the question. I was like, sir, you are a whore. Be single. Just be single and use condoms. And apparently get some consent. Get it in writing if you need to. I was like, you have no dick management whatsoever. You trying to lead 3 million people? They asked him, they said, what is the largest, amount of people that you've managed before? Because you don't have like high rank in the military. Like you actually did serve. Like, thank you for your service. But like what's like the most people you've ever managed? And he was like, I would say like 200. 200? Now he gonna manage allegedly 3 million. They asked him something about like, would he direct the U.S. Armed Forces to attack American citizens? He refused to answer that question too. And I was like, bruh, you can't even pretend to have a moral compass. Are you kidding me? It's not. He'll probably get pushed through. We are so fucked. I know I told y'all I'd be here till September. I don't know, y'all.
Shop now at the Home Depot and get up to 35% off select appliances. Plus, save up to an extra $400 on select appliances like Frigidaire. From the stainless steel French door refrigerator with crisp steel drawers to keep produce fresh longer, to the 5-burner electric range that lets you cook more at once and get meals on the table faster. Right now, get up to 35% off select appliances like Frigidaire. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid January 9th through January 29th. U.S. only. See store online for details. Minimum purchase required.
And good political news this week. Well, maybe we shouldn't call it good. Well, it is good. It's just a long time coming and a lot of dead people. Let me not use a euphemism and try to clean it up. There's a lot of dead bodies at this point. I'm reading this on defense.gov, i.e. U.S. Department of Defense. There's been a ceasefire deal. I'm trying to figure out how to report this properly. As of this morning, there was a ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel that was brokered by the current president of the United States, which would be Joe Biden. We're still 4 days out from Trump's inauguration. What I'm reading here, again, defense.gov, President Joe Biden announced a ceasefire and hostage exchange deals. The Israeli hostages that Hamas has been holding, this has been the excuse that Israel has been giving for the genocide, essentially, of the Palestinian people, for bombing that country back into the Stone Ages, is because they've been holding these hostages. But a deal was reached and signals, quote, a possible end to 15 months of conflict in the region. Conflict, it's understatement, has been going on since October 7th of 2023, since Hamas attacked Israel. I mean, it goes back like hundreds of thousands of years before this. But since Hamas kicked off hostilities, I'm quoting, with a surprise attack on Israeli military personnel and civilians. Once again, Joe Biden, our current president of the United States, is responsible for brokering this deal. Future Führer, the 47th president of the United States, is attempting to take credit for this. even though he's not president. He tweeted, posted, I don't know what platform he's on. He put out on social media, this epic ceasefire agreement could have only happened as a result of our historic victory in November. What does it mean historic? Like, he didn't win by a landslide. Like, he won, okay. What exactly is so historic about it? You know how he is. Everything is a superlative. He says that his win, quote, signaled to the entire world that my administration would seek peace and negotiate deals to ensure the safety of all Americans and our allies. No, that's not what anyone thinks when they think of you. They think that you're like a madman. He says, I'm thrilled that American and Israeli hostages will be returning home to be reunited with the families and loved ones. That's really all he had to say. The last part, I'm thrilled that hostages, will be headed home. He could have added a line about all the dead Palestinians, but not even but. Like, you could have. I don't even expect more from him. I guess the Trump administration had a Mideast envoy who participated in the talks. And so that's why Trump feels that he should take credit for it. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and I'm going to go ahead and guess it was the Secretary of Defense, did a press conference the other day. And as they were leaving, someone asked, a reporter from the audience yelled out something like, is this your thing or is this Trump's thing? Who should be giving credit for this? And all three of them did like the slow turn. It was very dramatic, made for movie scripted, but all three of them did the slow turn and the side eye, like, nigga, what? And Joe Biden was like, is this a joke? Was not. President Joe Biden is responsible for this. Please believe if Trump had any hand in it whatsoever, he would have waited the 4 days until he was inaugurated in order to properly claim it while he was president of the United States. If he had just anything to do with this, the same way he held up the COVID checks so he could put his name on them so everybody would think that like he actually wrote a check as opposed to Congress voting on the STEMI checks and then sending them out. Donald Trump held them up so that he could put his name on them. Great marketing. I've never said he's not a good marketer. He's an amazing marketer. That's what he's best at. It's a skill, admittedly. As of 2 hours ago, I'm reading this on the New York Times at 7:17. People are unclear about exactly what's going to happen with this ceasefire because there was supposed to be a vote and everything's gone to shit. The vote that was supposed to happen today, the Israeli government says it's not going to vote now until at least Friday. According to the New York Times, they said there's last-minute disputes with Hamas and there are rifts over the agreement inside Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, I think I'm pronouncing that right, inside his governing coalition. As of Thursday night, Israel's national security minister threatened to resign and remove his party from the Israeli government if the cabinet voted to approve the current ceasefire deal. And he said that he would stay if Israel resumed its war against Hamas. This is Israel's, again, national security minister. He said that the current deal, the current ceasefire that was brokered yesterday, he says this deal would effectively erase the achievements of the war. It said it would leave Hamas in power in Gaza. So, yeah, as of right now, no one really knows what's going on with the ceasefire. Again, I'm recording this on Thursday evening. As of right now, 8:13 p.m. I don't know if this will still be relevant by the time you hear it. That's why I gave you the timestamp. Yeah, there's other political news. Nancy Mace, remember Nancy Mace? She was the woman who, he said he didn't do it, but her DM said otherwise. What's the good Reverend Doctor, the eloquent Reverend Doctor, the light-skinned Reverend Doctor with the curly hair and the glasses? Who was the doctor? He used to be at Georgetown. Then they published that scathing article about him hitting on young girls. What's his name? Michael Eric Dyson. Don't say shit to me about what I just said. Go Google Michael Eric Dyson in Georgetown. I don't lie. I might say crazy shit, but the crazy shit I say is true. And I also double fact check before I publish. Just FYI. I be talking like a podcaster. I'm still a journalist by trade. I can't help it. That said, Nancy Mace was the white lady he said he didn't hit on, but her DM said otherwise. Nancy Mace is back in the news again. This time she's had a little tussle with Jasmine Crockett. Nancy Mace was doing her usual transphobia thing. She likes to raise hell time and time again about what trans folks are doing. And I was like, ma'am, do you want to fuck a trans person? Because you be talking about trans people 24/7. Look, I like trans people. I ain't got nothing against trans people. I don't think about trans people this often. Like, they just be minding their business and I be minding my business. Like, trans people stay on this lady's mind. She thinks about trans people the way I think about, like, balanced breakfast men. I'm just saying. Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, I'm talking about her like she's familiar. I've never had the pleasure of meeting her, which is weird because I'm like back in DC. I'm like, how have I not met you? How have we not been in the same room? That's impossible. We had to be in the same room sometime around CBC. Had to. That's not the point. The point is, Jasmine Crockett was pointing out the many and varied flaws of Nancy Mace. She was like, you're on this trans thing. I'm paraphrasing. Actually, not that part. She actually did say trans. But she was like, you're on this trans thing again. You must be trying to raise money for fundraisers, get your base riled up or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she said, child, please. Nancy Mace is unfamiliar with African-American vernacular English. So she hears child, please. Instead of properly understanding that she is being summarily dismissed, she takes the wrong offense and she thinks Congresswoman Crockett is referring to her as a child. And then she has this whole temper tantrum. I am not a child. Don't call me a child. I am an adult. Don't refer to me as a child. And then she says, do you want to take it outside? Ma'am, what kind of thug, hood rat, violent gutter snipe tries to fight someone at their goddamn job? Like, you're not working at like the gas station. You're a member of Congress. You're threatening another member of Congress, talking about take it outside. Ma'am, that is for elementary and junior high school students that are still learning proper socialization. For them and for thugs, criminals, gutter snipes. I was deeply offended to hear this language coming out of the mouth of an unrespected member of Congress. And I was like, what censure will she receive? Does Congress not have an HR? Because they be talking to each other wild, crazy. I was like, anywhere else, this is the type of shit that would get you punched in the face. She was like, take it outside. I'm like, ma'am, in what world do you think you could see hands with Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett? Look at her and look at you. Look at her and look at you. Now, she is a lady. She is an upstanding, tax-paying, respectable member of society and Congress. She's not the one threatening to fight people. Isn't this the second time she's done this shit? Wasn't she threatening bodily harm to trans people, trans women who just needed to go to the bathroom? She's a little violent thing. I don't understand how she keeps getting away with this shit. The animal needs to be caged. The animal is violent. How is she a member of Congress? I don't understand. They're just letting anybody into Congress now. We could take it outside. And do what outside? And do what? She got dragged so bad by the public over that take it outside comment. She had to come back and lie. She was like, when I said take it outside, I meant that we could have a private conversation to discuss our differences. I wasn't trying to say that, that there should be violence or challenge her to, a physical engagement, something like that. And I was like, girl, bye. You're violent and you lie. Cage that violent animal. She is a harm to others. How is she allowed to be in Congress? And I say this with much seriousness. Jasmine Crockett needs security. She be driving these white women absolutely insane. These racist white women are just as bad as their male counterparts. They will hurt you. It's not just words and like social mayhem. It's not just like some mean girl shit. Deranged white women are very harmful and very violent. I'm deeply concerned for the safety of Jasmine Crockett. No jokes, no haha, no like random burst into song. Not like the shit I said about meth. Like, I'm deeply concerned for the safety of Jasmine Crockett. Like, you okay, sis? You need security, sis. Last but not least, there's more stuff we could talk about. I did not watch or listen, rather, to Wendy Williams. She did Charlamagne's show. She did The Breakfast Club this morning, and then she also did an interview with Don Lemon today. What I heard, Wendy sounded much better than she did when she did that documentary, I guess at the top of the year. She sounded much better. She sounded lucid, if you will. And again, I didn't listen to the whole interview, but the reports that I've read from it, the feedback that I've seen, the comment section, just looking, people thought Wendy sounded coherent. They thought she sounded good. People questioned whether she needed to be in a conservatorship still. Maybe there was a time when that was necessary. They didn't think the time was now. They said Wendy sounded strong. I heard clips from when she was on Don Lemon, same thing. I want only the best for Wendy. I'm glad to hear that she seems to be doing better. I heard she was on at least the Breakfast Club. She had her niece with her. There was just a call-in, but she had her niece, the niece from the documentary, the one I think she's a newscaster, journalist. And I thought the niece was really good for her. I thought the niece really cared about her auntie. I wish her continued blessings, continued healing, continued peace. I would love to see Wendy back on the air. Maybe not on TV, maybe a nice podcast, something like that. If she's capable, if she's able. I would also like Wendy to be able to access her money again. If she's capable, if she's able. That's not for me to determine. Like listening to one interview, two interviews. She has family that cares about her. I would love to see Wendy or someone who genuinely cares about Wendy and her well-being, as opposed to someone just like randomly appointed by the court that may or may not have her best interest in mind. I would love to see the family and or someone who genuinely cares about her to be overseeing her and her finances. I can say that, I think, safely without even listening to the interviews. Last but not least, I wanted to talk about two Puffy documentaries. There was one that came out yesterday, I think, on Peacock. I did not get a chance to watch that one. I think it came out last night, The Making of a Bad Boy. Let's see if I can read a recap on Vulture. January 14th. It came out 2 days ago. 90-minute documentary. Oh, this is the one we talked about that Al B. Shore was in. Oh, yeah, I'm going to make time to watch this one because I want to see what Al B. Shore has to say. I'll say this in fairness to Diddy and because I don't want to be sued. In a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, a representative from Combs said of the documentary, it, quote, recycles and perpetuates the same lies and conspiracy theories that have been slung against Mr. Combs for months. The statement criticized the documentary as, quote, irresponsible journalism of the worst kind, allowing, quote, proven liars and opportunists to make false criminal allegations. And so Vulture goes through a list of the disturbing takeaways from the documentary. And again, this documentary is Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. The reason I'm being so specific is because I'm going to talk about another documentary right after this that one of my friends is in. She sent it to me this morning, so I have permission to talk about it. So this is the first takeaway that Vulture lists. It says, Al B. Shore remembers Kim Porter warning that getting involved with Combs would get him killed. He said he couldn't provide more details due to ongoing legal proceedings. Shore hinted that Porter, who died in 2018, was trying to, quote, save him, and claimed she was also putting her own life in danger. He raised suspicion about the circumstances of her death. Shore also seemingly suggested that his own health struggles were connected to foul play, claiming that multiple people were sent to, quote, assist in the attempted murder of Al B. Shore. They're calling this a disturbing takeaway. I'm like, everybody thinks this. Multiple people think that Combs abused Porter. I've heard stories, rumors, allegations, ain't trying to get sued, about him beating Kim for years from various people. And again, that's he said, she said, but much like Cassie, like that's been floating around for a while. Combs allegedly groped a former DeBand member and berated her bandmates. Sarah Rivers, I remember Sarah, former DeBand member who appeared on MTV's Making the Band 2 from 2002 to 2024, alleged that Combs touched her in a place he shouldn't have when she was alone. She says she recalled not wanting to be around Combs unless cameras were present. Combs once spent a night, allegedly, with two underage girls, according to a former Bad Boy employee. It says the record label employee said he first met Combs in 2015 or 2016. He recalled being sent on, quote, missions to, quote, recruit girls to come to Combs' infamous parties. According to the employee, every Diddy party turned into a freak-off, and any red lighting in the studio or rooms was because Combs felt that that was the frequency for having sex. The employee alleged that he once saw Combs go into a room with two girls who were, quote, for sure underage, and they did not come out for 24 hours. He also alleges Combs once showed him videos of two men having sex, telling him that was what people do, quote, to get to the top of the industry. Yeah, I need to watch this documentary. The next disturbing allegation, they could have put this up higher. Combs' mother allegedly threw parties that exposed a young Combs to sex, alcohol, and pimps. This is according to Tim Patterson, a childhood friend of Combs. He reflected on his experience living with Combs in his New York home when they were younger. He said Combs' mother allegedly held parties where it, quote, wouldn't be a thing to mistakenly walk into one of the bedrooms and see a butt-naked couple. He says, quote, was it desensitizing to us? I'm sure it was. Were we aware of it? No, that was just Saturday night. Combs allegedly held a woman at knife point, raped and gang raped her in 2018. One of the accusers, identified as Ashley, she claimed that Combs once told her that she would, quote, pay for mentioning rumors that he was involved in rapper Tupac's death. She alleged that in March 2018, Combs held a knife inside her mouth and then violently raped her with a TV remote. She claims that Combs and multiple individuals in his entourage then raped her for hours, while an employee told Ashley that they could sell her to, quote, anyone in the world, and she would never see her parents or loved ones again. Yikes. I will definitely be giving this documentary a watch. And then also, there is another documentary coming out on the ID channel. It's called The Fall of Diddy. The trailer dropped January 9th. I think it comes out January 27th. Yes, January 27th and 28th, 2 hours each night on ID, Investigation Discovery. It will later be streaming on Max. But a 90-second trailer dropped last week. I'm reading this on Billboard. One of my friends, I can say this now because she's going to be in the documentary, was Sean Combs' chef for many years. And she has shared stories with me, but she has participated in this documentary called The Fall of Diddy. And she's telling her story publicly for the first time. Stories about her have come up in a few lawsuits. Like, she wasn't Diddy's only chef, but she was around for a while. She's seen a lot. Again, I'm reading this on Billboard. The documentary covers, quote, Combs' decade-long impact on music and pop culture, from his early days as a talented creative to his 2024 arrest. The docuseries uncovers the insidious and terrifying allegations of sexual assault, abusive behavior, violence, and other disturbing claims that lay beneath his success. I did get a heads up that there is a bombshell in the documentary. There's a surprise, I think, interview, and I don't know who it is. I just know that there's a bombshell that's not included in the press. I'm reading further down this Billboard piece. It says, Discovery is promising to tell the story of Combs' life from the perspective of those who, quote, saw his alleged violence and temper during his college days at Howard University and the onset of his career with Bad Boy Records, to those who knew him at the height of his influence and power in recent years. The 90-second trailer features a series of interviews from a number of music industry peers and artists attesting to the dark side of the Bad Boy Records founder. At the beginning of the trailer, there's a person that says, I've been quiet for 18 years. That's my friend. I am absolutely nervous sharing what I've seen. The documentary for sure includes former Vibe editor-in-chief Danielle Smith. She wrote a really long essay earlier this year. We talked about it. She talked about there was a cover of Vibe. I think it was a double cover. One was Diddy as an angel. The other one was Diddy as a devil. And after they did the photo shoot, he wanted to know what the cover looked like. And she was like, no, like, you can't see the cover. You don't get cover approval. Like, you sound insane, which is standard to this day. And he was like, well, I want to see it. And so she was like, no. So Diddy came up to the office to try to force her to show him the cover. She ended up running out the back door of the offices. And it was crazy because, like, I'm reading this story. I started my journalism career as a Vibe intern. Like, I knew exactly what the layout of the office was, where the editor-in-chief's office was, where she would have been running from. The main entrance, the front entrance, I think it was the 6th floor entrance and the 5th floor entrance, like all of that shit. I was like, this is crazy. What was even crazier is Danielle said she came into work a couple days later. Diddy and some people, whoever, had broken into the office. This is back in the day when the servers are really huge. I think she described the servers being the size of like a dining room table. But Diddy and his people had broken into the office, allegedly, and stole the whole damn server. Let's see. D. Woods is interviewed here. Rodney Little Rod Jones. That's the gentleman, the producer, I believe, who accused Diddy of sexual harassment. The doc includes comments from journalist Cheyenne Roundtree. I'm not familiar with her. Bodyguard Roger Bonds. Former personal chef, that's my girl, Jordan Chaton. Former driver Wardell Fenderson. He speaks for the first time and testified about Combs' attempt to bribe him. And then in addition, Talia Graves, a woman who alleged that Combs violently raped her in 2001 and threatened her into silence. Yeah, so that's the upcoming documentary. I think there's still another 1 or 2 documentaries to come after this. We'll see. We'll watch as many as we can. We are almost to the end of this episode. I just want to give a quick update. I'm scrolling on Instagram. Wendy Williams' attorney says the star is still suffering from dementia despite the interview, or the 2 interviews, rather. This on Love B. Scott. Let me go see what B. Scott talking about. This is according to Wendy's attorney, Roberta Kaplan. She says Williams has some good and some bad days when it comes to her health. People should not assume she's totally fine just because she's doing interviews. Kaplan says Wendy is still dealing with frontal lobe dementia, a neurological disease with no cure. I know people want a miraculous recovery for Wendy, as do I. I think what's probably closer to the truth is the good day, bad day thing. I'm glad that she's having good days. I'm glad that she's sounding better. But I think the idea that she's, had some miraculous recovery and she's in, perfect health is probably a little hopeful, if you will. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Drake and this lawsuit? I really don't care. So last time we talked about Drake, he had filed a petition accusing his record label, Universal, of, conspiring against him as an artist on their label. I do have access to the lawsuit. Do I care? I don't really care. Do you care? I really don't feel like reading it tonight. I don't care. Let's just do the people recap. It says the God's Plan rapper filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. Isn't that Day-Day? That's Day-Day in them. It was Day-Day. We miss you, Day-Day. Hope you land in a soft space. According to court documents obtained by people that are also readily available on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. That's the only reason I keep that account, so I can access all the lawsuits. I really should just, get an account on the site because it's the same site that has all the lawsuits. Drake, 38, alleges Universal Music Group, quote, approved, published, and launched a campaign to create a viral hit out of a rap track that falsely accuses Drake of being a pedophile and calls for violent retribution against him. This nigga's really suing over lyrics. It says the May 2024 song, Not Like Us. None of the other songs, just Not Like Us. There were several other disses in that feud between them. It says Kendrick Lamar, 37, cloaks cleverly dangerous lyrics behind a catchy beat and inviting hook. The suit identifies the line, say Drake, I hear you like 'em young, which Lamar raps in the song, and claims that Lamar calls Drake a certified pedophile that should be, quote, placed on neighborhood watch. Well, he's saying that because you was in that little young girl, Millie Bobby Brown, that's her name? You was in that little young girl's, DMs or texts when she was, super underage. That's why they call you a pedophile. She was 14, you were 31, right? Allegedly. She did an interview talking about you used to hit her up. It's not just for no reason. He just decided we're in a beef, so I'm just going to say crazy shit that has no basis in truth whatsoever, calling you a pedophile. I mean, additionally, Drake alleges in the suit, well, this isn't even an allegation. We all saw this. The cover art and music for Not Like Us featured his home in Toronto with labels similar to those used by law enforcement to pinpoint sex offenders. Again, what you was doing in that young girl's text. That's why this came up with him, talking about don't go to cell block 1 and A minor. According to the complaint, Universal Music Group, Drake's record label since 2009, has allegedly, quote, repeatedly defamed Drake while exploiting and monetizing his work by releasing Not Like Us. The lawsuit alleges that Not Like Us was intended to convey the specific, unmistakable, and false factual allegation that Drake is a criminal pedophile and to suggest that the public should resort to vigilante justice in response. It says the music label allegedly, quote, decided to publish, promote, exploit, and monetize allegations that it understood were not only false, but dangerous. I think he's being unrealistic about the perception even before Kendrick did this song about how the public received his interactions with that young girl. The document goes on to state, for the record, that Drake is, quote, not a pedophile. It says Drake has never engaged in any acts that require he be placed on neighborhood watch. Drake has never engaged in sexual relations with a minor. Drake has never been charged with or convicted of any criminal acts whatsoever. Does Drake not understand what a hip-hop beef is? I covered all this when it actually happened, but Drake made his own set of allegations against Kendrick, including like the children that he has with his long-term partner, girlfriend, fiance, that their children were not in fact biologically his. I believe Drake accused Kendrick of beating his girlfriend at one point. There were some pretty heinous allegations, unproven, there as well. This goes both ways. Universal Music Group has responded to Drake's filing. They say, quote, not only are these claims untrue, but the notion that we would seek to harm the reputation of any artist, let alone Drake, which in fairness is one of their biggest artists, is illogical. We have invested massively in his music, and our employees around the world have worked tirelessly for many years to help him achieve historic commercial and personal financial success. He says, throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry, to engage in conventionally outrageous back and forth rap battles, to express his feelings about other artists. He now seeks to weaponize the legal process to silence an artist's creative expression and to seek damages from UMG for distributing that artist's music. It sounds very sore loser to me. UMG continued, we have not and do not engage in defamation against any individual. At the same time, we will vigorously defend this litigation to protect our people and our reputation, as well as any artist who might directly or indirectly become a frivolous litigation target for having done nothing more than write a song. Oh, dear. Again, we can go through it if you want. If enough people write in and want me to go through the lawsuit, we can. But, I think this is just complete bitch assness. I just like to remind Drake, you started this shit. You started this shit. It was like simmering beef. And then Drake is the one that really popped out there and like a direct hit, made like a whole diss track. And Kendrick didn't respond. And he took so long to respond that Drake dropped another track trying to get Kendrick involved and get Kendrick to respond. He dropped 2 diss tracks to Kendrick before Kendrick responded to his first one. And then it was off from there. They went back and forth for a few rounds of this shit before Kendrick dropped Not Like Us. And then Drake actually responded to that and it went nowhere. Not Like Us is just a better song with a better beat, with catchier lyrics. And then Kendrick is also, he's a hell of a performer, one. He's also a marketing mastermind. It's Drake. In theory, he stood a chance. He's one of the biggest artists in the world before this whole thing happened. And then, it happened. But I think this is insane that he's going after his record label, not Kendrick. The only person named in the lawsuit is the record label. Folks clown J. Cole for dropping a diss track and then walking it back and was like, my spirit doesn't feel good. I don't feel right about this. I don't want to be involved. J. Cole's discernment on 100. Some higher power spoke to him and he listened. Either Jesus or Allah walks with him. Dum, dum, dum. Okay, we're done. We're done. Wait. I just got a breaking news alert. TMZ is reporting Method Man is denying allegations that anything happened at this Staten Island gym. I told you earlier what was on the New York Post. I read it directly from the New York Post site. You can go to New York Post yourself and see it if you like to. A representative of the rapper, real name Clifford Smith, tells TMZ Hip Hop, Mr. Smith categorically denies the allegations as reported and has not been the subject of an arrest by any law enforcement agency. The New York Post did say that there was no arrest made, But he says he categorically denies the allegation. So there was no punching in the face? Is that what we're to understand now? Well, if Method Man says it didn't happen, did it happen? Is there video? Let me see if there's any other site reporting. Billboard has the same story. Same thing, rap for meth, exact same statement. Mr. Smith categorically denies the allegations as reported. That doesn't mean ain't nothing happened. That just means that the way it was reported, the story that's out there, that's what he's denying. It doesn't mean nobody got punched in the face. Maybe there was a 6 times, but not 7. Maybe there was none at all. I ask again, is there video? Video or it didn't happen? Let me see. Let me scroll down further in this article on Billboard. Okay, so nothing to see as far as I'm concerned. I'll continue to pray for the hands, heart, and good health of our beloved. I hope you will join me in lifting prayers. All right, that's everything. No, it is not. Nancy Pelosi just told ABC in an exclusive via her spokesperson she will not be attending inauguration. It's beginning. The cards are beginning to fall. People are pulling out. Oh my God, it's happening. I can't believe it's happening. It's happening. Resist. People are resisting. I need people to revolt. We'll talk next week. Bye. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's a part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. You listen to this podcast, so you know I am a huge fan of therapy. I think everyone should have some, even the people that don't think they need it, especially you. You need it the most. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. And you can easily switch therapists anytime at no cost. I love how easy BetterHelp makes it to find therapy everywhere you are. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/ratchet today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/ratchet. The conversations we have on this show really get me thinking. And when I want to dive deeper or level up, I want to hear from the best. Luckily, I can do just that with Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. Use improv to overcome your fears with Amy Poehler, or turn your passion into achievements with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their life. I watched the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix, and I just wanted more and more Martha Stewart. Masterclass had me covered. Martha's Masterclass will teach you how to think outside the box and level up. I loved it. Masterclass is offering an exclusive offer for Ratchet and Respectable listeners at masterclass.com/ratchet. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 311, Saturday. You're gonna get it! Reigning lightweight champion and the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, Islam Makhachev, defends his title in a rematch against Arman Tsarukyan. And reigning bantamweight champion, Rob Dvalishvili, defends his title against undefeated Umar Nurmagomedov. UFC 311, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.